What's going to be available are representatives who are going to be able to sign people up for DACA, which is the Deferred Action for Children, and DAPA, the Deferred Action for Parent Accountability. Those two things, there's going to be representatives there. To my knowledge, there's also going to be attorneys who are going to be able to answer any questions that the community may have. From the board, the assistance that we would request from you guys is outreach. We want to reach out to as many folks as possible. And not just by Nuys, but I know that you guys have networks with all the other neighborhood councils. We'd love to have you participate by having a booth, a table, and more people need to hear about what the neighborhood councils do, and we need to get young individuals like himself and you board members. So if you, whatever you want to do as far as outreach, you can go ahead and have your banner. And also we really need help with the logistics. Just the day of. Putting things together, organizing. But I want you guys to be involved in the planning. If you guys are interested in being involved in the planning as well, we're going to have a planning meeting on Friday at 10 in the morning at our district office. And
was that the one Monday that got bumped? Did it get bumped?
We had one Monday. We had one already.
Okay.
So we're going to have a second one to include more folks. I also know that we're going to have one the coming Monday. So one on Friday, the coming Monday. And on Saturday at 10 in the morning, I think it's 10 or 11, I'll get you more information on that. On Saturday at Panorama High School, we're going to be having a training for those folks who want to participate in the actual signing up folks. Similar to, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Naleo, the citizenship workshop, where they do, it's similar, it's going to be very similar to that, but it's going to be a DACA and DAPA event. So, we would really appreciate your help. And it would mean a lot. You guys have done great in the past. We've worked with you in the past.
Did you bounce it off your district director about inviting the consul generals?
That's fine.
It's good? It's okay? Good. Mr. Anand.
Where is the field office?
Our district office is located at 8134 Van Nuys Boulevard, Panorama City, zip code 91402. Our phone number is 818-781-7407. My email. You want me to go slower?
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Our phone number is 818-781-7407. My email address is Brian, B-R-I-A-N, dot, my last name, G-A, V as in Victor, I, V as in dog, I-A. I'll leave business cards as well at mail.house.gov. And I'll leave my information in the table, or whoever wants business cards, I have business cards on me. So yeah, it should be a great event. And we really want to promote it as much as possible. If you guys need anything from our office, again, I'll leave some business cards. This is just an example of one event that we're doing. We also have the Congressional Art Competition for young folks who are interested in grades 9 to 12 that want to participate. The winner gets shipped to Washington, D.C. with one parent for free, sponsored by Southwest Airlines. So
I have a question. Do you have this is really just out there, but I sang last preliminary was here, opened up with America's Beautiful, and I auditioned for America's Got Talent. I'm 62, living on Social Security, trying to become a major league taxpayer to help the veterans of the United States. I've offered the Veterans Affairs.
did you sing the national anthem at the
Yeah.
okay.
I would like to do something. I'll talk to you after.
Yeah, let's go.
Very good. Any other questions for the Congressman's office? Going once, going
Panorama
twice.
High School, that's the
All
one
right.
that used to be the Carnation plant?
Yeah,
I
just,
thank
okay.
all the congressmen for their great work they do with the professionals over in Social Security hearings and appeals.
Very good. Thank you, Donna. Okay, real quick, I make a motion that we aim to participate with Congressman Cardenas and Congressman Gutierrez on the immigration workshop on March 21st.
Seconded.
All right, with that, I call for the vote. Mr. Secretary.
Catch up to you in just 1 second. Okay. President Thomas.
Yes.
Vice President Benjamin.
Yes.
Secretary Henry, aye. Treasurer Hall.
Aye.
Mr. Lazarevich.
Aye.
Mr. Martin. Ms. Skelton.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Kamara.
Aye.
Abstain. Just a second. Okay. Mr. Anand.
Aye.
Mr. De La Cuesta.
Yes.
Ms. Padden.
Yes.
Mr. Lynn.
Abstain.
Mr. Luna.
Yes.
Mr. Maravi.
Yes.
Ms. Raines.
Yes.
Mr. Mr. Robbins?
Yes.
Mr. Knoll?
Yes.
Ms. Asgherian?
Yes.
It passes.
Very good. Brian, I'll be in contact with you and we'll do everything we can to help you guys. Thank you very much for reaching out to us. We appreciate it. Okay, we are
It's a
going
yes.
to hear from Brenda Barnett next. Then we were going to do our funding votes, so Kathleen can wander off, and then we'll do our committee reports and then get back on schedule. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the main event. This is Brenda Barnett, the General Manager of the Department of Animal Services. Miss Barnett, you are recognized.
Thank you. Council members, audience, thank you for the opportunity to tell you a little bit about animal services and to actually engage your assistance so that we can do even more. I put some flyers over on the table. One is about low-cost spay-neuter. For people in the community, you can get a $30 voucher that's free regardless of your income level for 3 dogs and 3 cats. If you're low income and qualify under the HUD guidelines, you can get a $70 voucher, 3 dogs and 3 cats. And if you go to certain veterinary hospitals, that'll cover the entire cost, so it's free. So the city has been very much in the forefront of doing everything possible to make it easy for people to spay and neuter their companion animals. The other thing that there's a flyer over there about licensing. And this talks about licensing dogs and horses. For horses, I'll just say that you're protecting your horse property by licensing your horses. We actually do this for Rex and Parks. The money all goes to the trail system. But it also means that your property is listed as a property that has a horse on it. And if there is any zoning or redistricting, that might be an important way to protect your property. As far as dogs are concerned, this is really a very important enforcement tool, and I wish we had a larger staff so that we could actually do more enforcement. But people who license their dogs tend to probably have had them spayed and neutered because the license is only $20. They've had a rabies vaccine, which is a state requirement, which is a safety issue. And most people who invest in their pets do keep them in, take care of them. They don't let them get out in the streets where they can cause mischief or car accidents or get in fights or cause injury to people. So that's very important. There was a question earlier that I'll address about the spay-neuter ordinance. The department actually recommended several years ago that there be absolutely no exemptions to the spay-neuter ordinance for dogs and cats in the city of Los Angeles. However, when the city attorney looked into the matter, they did put in some exemptions, and they put in exemptions because of people's rights to have dogs that are not altered if they choose. So at this point, if you have a dog that is registered with a registry that tracks multiple generations and breeders and that sort of thing, you can get an exemption and you can get a license for an unaltered dog for $100. If you have a dog that doesn't qualify for a registry, which is the case of most of the pit bulls because that's not really a breed. They're not Staffordshire Terriers. It's not a breed that has a registry. In order to get a breeder's license for those, in addition to the $100, you have to pay another $235. So it's $335 to have a non-purebred animal that's intact. That's what the old spay-neuter committee recommended, and that's what the city attorney stuck with in order to try to encourage people by a financial expense to spay and neuter their dogs. Also just want to take a quick mention that you can, that you should microchip your dog and your cats, and now we're going to the Personnel and Animal Welfare Committee next Tuesday is an ordinance to microchip bunnies as well. Because if they get out, they get loose. We're trying to figure out the bunny population is growing, and it's not just the agricultural bunnies, but the pet bunnies. So we want to know when they get out in the community, did they originate from a shelter or from a rescue? So we're going to start microchipping all the bunnies before they leave the shelter. And also, I know you volunteer a lot already, you know, but you can also volunteer at any of our 6 shelters. You probably would want to be the one here in your own neighborhood. Or if you don't have over the pet limit at home, you can foster and give animals a little extra time. So these brochures are all over there. It does appear when you go into the shelters that there are a lot of pit bulls in the shelters. Over the last 3 years, less than 20% of the dogs coming into the shelters have been pit bulls. It's running like 18, 19%. But the fact of the matter is that as we have tried to uphold the 2000 city mandate to become a no-kill city, we have given them longer. We've kept them longer, trying to find homes for them and trying to work with rescues. So, but it does look when you go into the shelter like that's all we have. But if you go to your own shelter Thursday morning, you're going to see a lot of very cute puppies that have that are going up for adoption Thursday. So that's a little bit of a tease. I think they've been pushing it on the news and probably in some of the social media. But there's some really cute puppies that were relinquished to us as a result of us busting a hoarding situation, or an illegal breeding operation. It wasn't a hoarding situation. It was, there were too many in that one house, but it was an illegal breeding operation. So, you know, I think the Animal Services Department has 2 main roles in the city. One is to provide the sheltering services, to take care of the animals that are lost, the animals that don't have homes, to work with rescues to try to get these animals into homes. Since 2011 and now, we've gone from a 57% life save rate to about a 73% life save rate. Go to our website, LosAngelesAnimalServices.org, and you can go to the little drop-down menu that says About Us. All of our numbers are published. They're published monthly. You've got about 5 years worth of numbers for dogs, cats, rabbits, and then down at the very bottom there's a report that's called WoofStat. And on that WoofStat report, you'll see exactly how many adoptions the staff does to the public. You'll see how many animals are transferred to Best Friends. You'll see how many animals are transferred to our other rescue partners. They're not listed as adoptions, they're just listed as animals that have live outcomes because they leave our shelter, either going to another rescue or whatever. But you'll also see the number of adoptions done by staff. And the second thing, and possibly the most important thing we do, is public safety. If there, you know, we only have 74, I think about 74 right now officers total. A lot of those are out sick. That's to cover the city 24/7. Some of them have administrative duties, so we're stretched pretty thin. So we have top priority calls, and those are the calls that involve public safety, human safety, or animal safety. And quite honestly, with the staffing levels that we have, we rarely get below the calls that are emergencies. We just don't have the personnel to do it. But we do handle those emergency calls. And I think within the last couple of months, we have apprehended and brought in close to 50 dogs who have either injured another animal or bitten a person. And so they're impounded at the shelter waiting for some kind of a hearing to determine if they can be responsibly returned to their owner or not. And I think that's one of our big deals. We hope to improve our licensing because not only does it keep the community safer, but it also actually generates income that, you know, helps to support the department. From every $20 license, $7 goes into the Spay-Neuter Trust Fund. The Spay-Neuter Trust Fund cannot be used for anything except spay-neuter. That's just the way that it was written. So $7 out of every $20 goes into the Spay-Neuter Trust Fund. That was sort of the foresight of the founding fathers who just came up with the idea that the city, if the city was going to mandate spay-neuter, they should help to pay for it, and that's the right thing to do. So, you know, I'd be glad to answer questions if you have any, or I'd be glad to answer any
Sure. Let's start with Maddie.
I noticed that you have low-income and senior residential programs. We have a number of vets returning from urban combat whereby service animals are actually comforting and they're they're not just pets, they're actually companions that help,
Right.
and it help them acclimate to our urban environment after what they've been through. Does the Animal Services have any sort of vet-specific program that streamlines all this hassle? You know, just for me sitting here talking to you, for listening to you for 5 minutes, just seems like kind of onerous. So if I'm a vet and I just need a streamline and just get my animal, is there a program for that?
Yeah, that's a good question. And that's something that has been recently worked out with the city attorney's office. We were trying to figure out, some service dogs are trained by the International Therapy or by Delta, and some are not. So the city had to grapple with the liability for an animal that we didn't know how it was trained. So there's been a process, and that's just been resolved within the last, probably month or two. And so it's fairly easy now. The person comes in, they have a service dog, they have a licensed dog, they also get a service dog license, and it's pretty simple.
What if the service animal was with them overseas? Is there a way to streamline it so that, because you know where they've been trained with the owner that they came back with, just so that it's less onerous and it just makes more sense?
It's still streamlined. All you do is sign an affidavit that you understand that the city's not verifying the type of training.
Got it.
It's pretty simple.
Good.
Yeah. And we worked with the Department on Disabilities for that.
Good.
Mr. Vice President?
I was wondering, what's the economic ceiling per household to qualify for low-income HUD?
You know, that's something that our clerks handle, but I think there might have been something in one of these brochures. In this particular brochure, it talks about the total number of people and the household income. So for one person, it's $29,000, and it goes up to 8 people, it's $54,650. In the city of Los Angeles, you can also cut through the red tape of proving your income by having one of the light utility bills.
Okay, if we can go back to that gentleman's question, I was just wondering, is there any penalty for basically perjuring oneself as to a statement of income?
Well, that would be a question, I think, for the city attorneys. I mean, in order for people to get the low-income benefit for us, for the vouchers, they either have to show proof of income or proof of level of income through W-2s or something like that. I don't honestly have the list of everything that the clerks look at when they do that, but I do know that the simplest way is if you have one of those light utility bills.
Okay, like any Lifeline or whatever?
Yes.
Okay.
Ms. Skelton?
Can I get the brochure or pamphlet that you may have? I know you said some over here, but
Yeah, I'll get you a packet on the way
some
out.
over there?
Yeah, I actually made it partway around and the meeting started and I sat down.
Oh,
Donna Pearman?
I want to ask you, different buses seem to have different things on what's considered a service animal. Are they going to try to get you do know if they're ever going to try to set up to know what exactly is, like on the, they have to be trained if they go on Santa Monica over, and the Metro, they allow poodles and all these ridiculous small animals that I don't really see that they're doing anything, for the person. They're not really a service animal, they're just a pet. Do you think that they're ever going to...
I can't answer the question about the transportation system, but I would suggest that you call the Department on Disabilities. Because they worked very hard with us on the service dog license.
Oh, okay, I'll talk
Yeah.
Ms. Skelton?
do you have any control over the little animal shelter right downtown?
That's part of her department, I believe.
Okay, I took my dog there, and this is a complaint, and I called George. Took my dog there, and I'm in a waiting area. And a big dog turned around and looked at me, and my little dog, whatever, and I'm paying no attention to it. It's a lady sitting here with an infant baby on her lap, with a little baby dog here. The big dog turned around and snatched the little dog. Terrible, something terrible. The only thing that the employee said, oh well, this happens all the time because our waiting area is too small. That's the only thing that they said to the parent, what they said to everybody that witnessed it. And it was just like, oh well, this happened all the time to us. It happens all the time here. And everybody in there was stunned. And then when they came out and spoke to the young lady whose dog had got attacked, and she laughed, was like, so how's your day going today? just do that, but they said it happens all the time. Well, not all, but it happens a lot there. And it's because they already reported that their waiting area is too small. Is there anything that can be done about that?
Well, that's one of the bigger shelters, waiting areas in the 6-shelter system. But
This one right here,
Yeah.
you go get your nails clipped, the dog's nails clipped?
yeah, well, were you in the spay-neuter clinic, or if you were getting nails clipped, you were in the spay-neuter clinic?
Yeah,
not
getting the nails
Okay,
clipped.
then that is operated under contract. Each of our shelters, except North Central, has a privately contracted spay-neuter clinic in it. So that was them, but I will send a note to the people who are in charge of that.
Because my board knows, I wanted to do a program to where people could come, we have a box, and we just drop off like blankets or newspapers or something, because the dogs and little animals are cold. And I said that before the board, let's get something going and just let people start dropping off newspapers.
That'd be great.
We should try to help them.
Well, you can do
After
that.
after that incident, I was
Well,
like,
that was, you went in the side door and into the spay-neuter clinic. If you
we're
went
gonna go to
into,
the shop.
yeah, if you went into the main shelter, that's a huge lobby in
It
there.
is
Absolutely.
very nice.
Yeah, so that would be, we love donations.
You get them all the time.
We do,
all the time.
Yeah.
Blankets,
Yeah.
food, everything.
Recognize
Do you
that.
have your business card?
I do, I'll give
Okay,
you.
I'll start you.
This gentleman here, yes, sir?
Commissioners, wow, thank you for asking that question. While Ms. Barnett was waiting for you, she sent a note to her significant other that said, good reminder not to speak at neighborhood councils. You have a photo, she's here with disdain. So let's talk about that low-income discount. The Housing and Urban Development Organization makes DWP discounts for a 2-person household, slightly over $30,000 a year. Animal Services on the website is $70 very low income discount program, $30,000 and change a year. On November 7th, a woman by the name of Pam Chavez Hudson went to the Animal Services shelter here and used her DWP bill with the low income discount. She used this low income discount from the DWP to get the $70 very low income spay-neuter voucher from Animal Services. But her household income is about 8 times the Housing and Urban Development limits for these discounts. That's because Ms. Chavez Hudson is Brenda Barnett's live-in domestic partner of more than 2 years.
That's not true.
I have it in writing from you, my friend. I have it in writing from her that she is taking advantage of 2 low-income discounts. I can prove that they have been living together for more than 2 years. Their household income is somewhere at minimum of $250,000 a year. I will provide this commission all of the documentation proving that she is ripping off these low-income programs.
Do we have a question, sir?
Yes. I'm actually asking the commission the question. Oh, okay. Ms. Barnett, may I say, so you're declaring that you're not the live-in domestic partner of Pam Chavez Hudson?
Absolutely. That's not germane to any of this.
Okay.
I sold my house in Los Angeles in November, and that is provable. And the registrar can tell you that, Dan.
Yeah. And she has been living on Borden Avenue for 2 years, and I have it in writing from her. So I'm going to provide the information to this commission because you now have evidence of the limits. I'm going to ask you to send this information to the city attorney to ask if they prosecute her for fraud of the LADWP and for fraud of her own department. And just one last question.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Barnett, do you live at 13298 Borden Avenue?
I've been staying there since my house was sold.
Yeah. Have you been living there for more than 2 years?
No.
All right.
I have that
Anybody
in
else have any other questions for the GM? Yes, ma'am.
I am constantly aware of all of the animal breeding ads on Craigslist, Los Angeles. At any given time, any day of the week, you can go to the pet section and just type in puppies or kittens, and the page will load, and page after page after page after page, people outwardly selling. It's, of course, you know, we can't get Craigslist to impose their own rules of no sales of breeding of animals. But my question is this, they are so blatant about this, where I do the math immediately and I think, wow, you know, 7 pit bull puppies times $250, or the Boston Terriers that they sell for $1,500 to $3,000 each. They have 818 area codes listed. I mean, why is there no task force going after these breeders who are directly contributing to the overpopulation and the euthanasia rate in our shelters?
Yeah, they're very clever. They won't let you come to their house so you can't figure out where they are.
Sure they do.
Well, if you can give me addresses in the city of LA, we will go prosecute.
Really?
Absolutely.
Do that.
Sure, step up.
Let's,
I have your word of that?
Absolutely.
Good.
If
That's
there's
good.
city addresses in Los Angeles, we work with actors and others, they try to identify them. It's very difficult to get them to let you get a home address or to really find out that they're in the city of LA. But if you can find them, we'll go find out if they have a breeder's license. If they don't, we'll give them a citation, so they have to either get one or surrender their animals or whatever. Yeah, we'll be glad to do that.
Let's do that.
So, I'm sure that I can supply a task force of people that would voluntarily do that. But are you saying that they can then in turn apply for a license? The most they would pay is $350, and then they can freely breed their Chihuahuas and their Boston Terriers and their Huskies?
Yes, and if you have a challenge with that, you need to take that one up with the city attorney. The department wanted no exemptions to the mandatory spay and neuter. That was what we proposed.
So that's never going to happen.
You know, I think at one time, sometime several years ago, that the city lost a lawsuit over somebody who wanted to have an intact animal. I've been here a little over 4.5 years. This is before that. So I can't tell you exactly what happened in that lawsuit, but something happened that the city attorney said we have to have exemptions.
I think it's a